A canceled work meeting meant Eva could get home early to surprise her husband, but the scene that greeted her on the doorstep was far more surprising and left her questioning everything she thought she knew about her life. Eva balanced her work and family life well. She prided herself on being a dedicated employee, a loving mother, and a caring wife. As an executive at a marketing company, she worked long hours. But she always made time for her family. Her husband, Mason, and their children meant the world to her. Despite her busy schedule, time with her family was always a priority. Eva and Mason had a strong, loving relationship, openly discussing their flaws and desires and always working to strengthen their bond. Their love was unwavering, and their relationship was the subject of admiration by friends and family. One day, Eva left for work early. She managed to finish an important project ahead of schedule. She was thrilled to surprise Mason. They had both been busy with work, and an unexpected afternoon together sounded great. As she walked to the front door, she saw someone leaving the house. It was a woman in sunglasses moving quickly. Eva felt a bit uneasy. She watched as the woman hurried to a parked car, looked back at the house, and then drove away. Eva stopped with her hand on the doorknob. What was going on? Mason had never mentioned that he hired someone to help around the house. Was he hiding something? She shook her head, trying to ignore the bad feeling. Maybe a delivery or a neighbor, but she couldn't shake the doubt as she entered. "Emmy, Jack," she called, her voice shaky. "We're in the backyard, honey," Mason answered. Eva joined them, saw Mason helping the kids with their homework, and felt relieved. She tried to forget the disturbing scene, thinking it was just her imagination. 3 days later, she came home early from a canceled meeting. As she pulled into the driveway, she saw the same woman leaving her house again. The woman quickly got into her car and drove away. When she saw Eva approaching, Eva's heart sank and she became anxious. It couldn't be coincidence to see the same woman twice, and with many thoughts racing through her mind, she decided to confront her husband, even though she was nervous about what he might say. "So, who is this woman anyway?" Eva asked Mason that night, trying to keep her tone even, but feeling broken inside. Mason's face turned pale, but he recovered quickly. "Oh, that's just someone I hired to help me with some stuff around the house," he said in a casual way. Eva wanted to believe him, as she always had, but now she had a nagging feeling that something wasn't right. Over the next few days, she found herself pulling away from Mason. She barely spent any time with him. She couldn't look him in the eye, and she began to notice little things about his behavior that hadn't bothered her before. She used to try to focus on work and act normal, but inside, she was falling apart. The whole situation was eating away at her. Eva couldn't sleep or think about anything else. The image of that woman and the secrets Mason kept haunted her. She knew that she had to face the truth, but she also knew that she couldn't stay in a marriage that was filled with lies and uncertainty. As the days went by, Eva grew more and more suspicious. Every little thing Mason did seemed suspicious to her. Now it was driving her crazy. Then one day she saw the same woman again near her house. It was the third time she had seen her in a week. Eva was furious. This was no longer a coincidence. She couldn't contain her anger. She stormed in and found Mason in the living room. "We need to talk." "Right now, Mason, I need you to be honest with me. Who was that woman, and what was she doing behind my back?" His face was pale, and he could not meet her gaze. Eva, it's complicated, he muttered one afternoon. She decided to dig a little deeper. She searched through his phone, hoping she wouldn't find anything, but fear still filled her stomach. Then she saw it, a text message from a contact saved under a single initial. The message was vague but suggestive, leaving no doubt in Eva's mind that there was another woman. Eva's world shattered. It was all true, the woman. She had seen the secrets, she had seen the lies. She felt sick to her stomach, she felt the pain, a physical pain in her chest. The thought of losing him and breaking up her family was unbearable. But the trail of betrayal went deeper than she ever thought possible. She knew she couldn't live with the uncertainty and deception any longer. After days of agonizing over her decision, she finally decided to file for divorce. It was the hardest decision she'd ever made, but she knew it was the right thing to do. She couldn't stay in a marriage where trust was completely broken. With divorce papers in hand, tears streamed down Eva's face as she drove home. She had rehearsed what she would say to Mason to end their marriage. It was as if their whole life together was about to be destroyed. It hurt so much, but she felt she had no choice. She pulled up to the house, the place where they had built their life together, and hesitated with trembling hands. She opened the front door, expecting a confrontation, but what she saw shocked her even more than she expected. The house was decorated with balloons and streamers. The living room was lit up with strings of lights, and a large banner above the dining room table read, "Happy 40th birthday, Eva." She had been so consumed by doubt and turmoil that her birthday had completely slipped her mind before she could make sense of it. All of Mason's face broke into a warm smile as their eyes met in surprise. "Honey, happy birthday." Eva stood frozen in the doorway, clutching the divorce papers. Confusion, surprise, and a tiny bit of hope all mixed together inside her. "What's all this, Mason?" she asked, her voice shaking. Mason came forward and took her hands. "Eva, I know you're hurt and I owe you an explanation. The woman you saw planned for your birthday party. I've been planning this for months. I wanted your 40th birthday to be special." He paused before continuing. "I know I haven't been myself lately, ever since I lost my job. I felt useless, less of a man. You've been carrying everything on your shoulders, working so hard to provide for us, and I haven't been able to do anything to help. I wanted to show you how much I appreciate you, Eva, how much I love you. You're the strongest, most amazing woman I know, and I'm so lucky to have you do everything for this family, and I wanted to take that burden off of you, even if it was just for one night. That's why I focused on the kids, on making things easier for you around the house. I wanted to show you that even though I'm not bringing in a paycheck right now, I can still contribute. I can still be the husband and father that you deserve." Overwhelmed by a mixture of shame and relief, she covered her face with her hands. "I completely forgot my birthday," she confessed to Mason. "I was so preoccupied with everything else that I didn't even notice anything." Her eyes filled with a mixture of embarrassment and gratitude. "You planned this all along, didn't you? Even when I was behaving horribly, you still wanted to make me happy." A small smile tugged at the corner of her lips. "I guess I'm not the only one who forgets things sometimes," she said, trying to lighten the mood. "Thank you, Mason, for everything. I'm sorry if my secrecy made you doubt me, but I never meant to hurt you. I just wanted to surprise you," Mason said as Eva dropped the divorce papers to the floor and threw her arms around Mason, hugging him tightly. Mason held her close, his own eyes glistening with tears. It's okay, Eva. I understand why you felt the way you did. Let's put this behind us and enjoy your birthday. You deserve it. As the evening continued, filled with laughter, stories, and love, Eva learned a valuable lesson. Trust, once broken, can be repaired, but it takes open communication, understanding, and forgiveness. In her darkest moment, she had jumped to conclusions and almost lost the love of her life. But in the end, their love came back stronger, more resilient, and with a new appreciation for each other. That night, surrounded by loved ones, Eva knew she was right where she belonged.